participants. And first of all, thank you for taking our time and attending this session. And we'll try to make sure that you are utilizing your time for a good reason here, and you would learn a few important things that will not only help you in showcasing your products on Indian Business Portal, but even going beyond that. All right, so let's proceed ahead. We will start this session sharply at 4:05 p.m. However, we'll use this time productively, so it is not like we'll just keep waiting. Everything turned off, we'll interact amongst ourselves. So this where these online platforms or webinars, even the fact that they are virtual, so we are not meeting personally, but this is very close to being meeting personally. And this is where there are also equally important networking opportunities. So like when we are going to a conference or a seminar, other than obviously attending the seminar and understanding what the presenter is explaining, what is the other very common thing and very interesting thing? Everyone is very interested, especially I am very interested whenever I'm attending a conference or a webinar. I'm very keen or very excited to network with other people who are there attending this session, so that we can network and grow our network, create new contacts and create new friends, right? So you also do that. Now, because we are meeting virtually, so that's where, okay, so one of the user pointed out the audio is a little low. Let me just quickly check because I'm using a custom setup, so it is typically normal, but let me just quickly check. Yes, you are right. My audio setting somehow got disturbed. Now it should be better. Thank you for pointing out. So what I was explaining to you, that these are all very interesting networking opportunities, and trust me, I have experienced this, not like I'm making it up. I've experienced this or seen this in past, that business owners like you, they were able to get into a business transaction in the session itself, right? So one of the business owners shared the detail that we manufactured this. The other business owner who was part of the session, they saw their message and they reached out to them. Hey, we are looking for this product. Where do you offer? And in fact, they were able to get into a business transaction during the session itself. Now I am looking at the audio levels. It seems to be working fine. Hope everyone can hear me properly. Earlier, there was an issue. I accept that. Now, because I'm suggesting to you all that you should network or connect with each other. So that's where I would should ideally take the initiative, and I am going to share my details here in the chat. So you can see I've added details in the chat. Now you can start sharing your own details with the participants here in the similar fashion. So whenever you're sharing your details for networking purposes, it is important that you share your details, like what is your business name, where are you located, what are your contact details. If you have a website, please share the link. In addition to that, what products or services you are offering, and if you're looking for, or if you want to purchase or buy some products or services, then you can also mention that. So it sort of gives a opportunity for the other person to reach out to you as well, right? So otherwise it sort of becomes a one-way activity. Like you're just telling that, hey, we are offering this, but you're also buying something, you're also looking for something. So you should also share that. That's where the conversation becomes more interesting for other people as well. All right, so it is 4:05 p.m. Let's quickly get started with today's session. Now, what I'll be doing is I'll be sharing a presentation. In addition to that, I will also be doing a live demonstration. And if any one of you has attended my earlier session, so I strongly believe in showing how a problem has to be solved, or what is the process that you have to follow, so that when you're going back, you can do the same, right? So we will be switching from screen to screens to help you understand that this is the challenge and this is how you have to solve it, right? So I will show you the challenge, the problem that might be there on your website. You can go back and check for yourself, and then I will show you how to fix that problem. All right. So let me start sharing my screen, and let me start sharing the presentation. I'll take a few seconds to get started with that. So I'm starting to share my screen, and in next few seconds you'll start seeing my screen. Wonderful. Let me just minimize this so that it is not obstructing a view. And let's go full screen. Let's quickly get started with today's session. And as a customary or routine thing, once again, good evening and a warm welcome to all the participants in this session, especially for the ones who have joined in a little late. Now we are getting started with today's discussion, and this is where I'm going to explain to you what are the challenges that might be preventing your business from being showcased on Indian Business Portal, as well as how can you fix them, right? So what is the mistake that you may have accidentally done on your website? So you'll know what is that mistake, and then how can you fix that mistake. All right, so let's get started. Uh, this is the first mistake, and this where we'll start off with an example of the mistake, and then we'll see how to fix that mistake. Now, this is a mistake, and this where you can see we are trying to access a website, and it is showing a message that the website is not available at the moment, and it will be back shortly. Now, how does this state of the website affect? Because understand, when you're creating an online store, when you're creating an e-commerce website to showcase your products on Indian Business Portal, unless your website is published, which means it is accessible on the internet. So if I type the link of your website and I go to your website, I should be able to see the information that you have added about your website, about your business, about your products or services. If I'm not able to do that, I cannot review your products or services. I cannot understand your product or services about your business, and I cannot uh, onboard you on Indian Business Portal. That's why any website which is in a unpublished state, that cannot be reviewed, and we cannot then enlist that on Indian Business Portal. And this is one of the most common mistakes. Like if we talk to like 10 exporters, almost 5-6 of them have done this mistake, that they have put in an effort, they have added products, etc., and they simply forgot to publish their website, and that's where the website is unpublished, or they unpublish it for some reason and then they forgot to publish it back, right? So just ensure that your website is published. Now this is the first mistake, which is ensure that your website is published, right? Now, how do you fix this issue? This is where I'll switch the screen. So please don't get confused, like what is happening. We were seeing the presentation, now something else is displayed. So I will keep moving from one screen, so which is this presentation, to another screen, which is an account, which is a live account, to show you how to fix these issues. All right. So let's switch the screen for a moment, and we have the account here. This is an account, and I'm on the login screen. Let me just go back on the main screen. Now, I am deliberately starting from this screen because, I am interacting with exporters like you. One of the point which struck me was that many exporters, they were not clear even how to log into their account, right? So while they were creating their website, they created it, and then after a while they forgot that how do we log in, from where did we start, right? So that's why I am starting from the very first screen, right? So I'm not starting from a logged in screen, so that you can know where you have to go and from where do you have to log in, right? So you have to go to FIEOGlobalLinker.com, or you can search for FIEO GlobalLinker and you will land on this page. What I'll do is I'll also add the link in the chat for everyone so that you can have this handy, right? So this is where you have to go. Once you are here, you have to click on login, which will take you to the next screen. This is the next screen. Now here, you have to input your email ID and password. Now, many members have created their account through an older process where they were just using their mobile number to create the account, right? So there was an older process which was used some time back. That's where they were just not using the email ID and password, but they were using mobile number. So if you are someone who has created your account long time back, and that's where you have used your mobile number, that's where you have to click here. So the default is email ID and password, but you also have the mobile number option. So in case you have created your account using a mobile number, in that case, you can just input your mobile number and then log in through an OTP, right? So both the options are available. So don't get scared that, hey, we had created an account using the mobile number and we can't see any mobile number option. So that is there. It is here. Don't get scared with that. It is available there, right? So I'll just use the email and ID and password method to log in. So I am logged into the account. This is the account. Now, after logging in, what is the next step that we have to do? So we have to open the seller panel. What is seller panel? So seller panel is basically like the control panel. So using the control panel, we'll be managing and controlling whatever is happening on our website, right? So this is the control section or the admin panel, whatever name you would want to call it. So anything and everything which will be happening on your website will be controlled from here. So you have to click on this option, which is online store. So you'll see a shop type of icon and then online store. So you can click on that and that will open the seller panel. Now, I have deliberately spent some time just explaining to you that how to access this section, because I understand there are many exporters who had done this long time back and they have forgotten how it is done. So just for your reference, I have shared that. Now we are on the seller panel. Now, what are we trying to solve here? We are trying to publish the website, right? So this is the website. I'm just opening the link for everyone's reference so that you can see this is how it is appearing. So no one on the internet, if they are trying to access this website, they can't see. They will just be seeing this screen that the website is getting updated and it will be back shortly. So how do we publish? Very simple. You have to just click on this button, which is currently unpublished, turn it on, and the website gets published. Simple like that. Right? So this is the first mistake which many people have done. And this is something which you don't do intentionally. You don't realize that your website is unpublished, and that's where, because of that mistake, your products or services are not listed on Indian Business Portal. Now, a question which may be there in your mind, and that question is, how do we know that whether our website is published or not? It is very simple. I'll tell you. So once you have logged into your FIEO GlobalLinker account, go to the seller panel, and this is where, look at this button, which is, it should be green, right? So it should be published and it should be green. If it is green and published, that means your website is published and it can be reviewed and your products and services can be listed on Indian News Portal. So very simple thing which you can do to ensure that your website is published. All right. So let's go back to our presentation and let's move on to the next mistake which you may have done. Right. Now, there is a mistake on the screen. Now, what is that mistake? You may not be able to figure it out. So let me help you with a prompt. So here on the screen, you can see there are two text which are appearing on your screen. One is the name of the website, which is Star Exports, whereas the URL is Star Impex. Now, what is important is that if you are creating your e-commerce website, if you're creating your online store, the name of your store and the URL should be same. Otherwise, it raises question, right? So any international buyer is coming to your website and there's a difference, they'll obviously get suspicious, like there's something off, there's something fishy, why the names are different, right? So that's where it is important that these two should be the same. Now, related to this particular URL, many people ask me this question that we have our own domain, right? So we don't want to use this linker.store, which you're seeing here. They don't want to use linker.store. How do you can we use our own domain? How do you do that? So there's a dedicated process around that. And you'll be able to use your own domain, right? So if you want to take your website live on your own domain, so for example, the domain name is starexports.com, you can use it, right? That is possible. Now, coming back to this mistake, how do you fix that mistake? Again, this is not an intentional mistake that you have done yourself. You may have mistakenly added a different name and then you have mistakenly added a different URL, and there is a disconnect, and that's why your website is not reviewed, or it is your websites or your business's products are not listed on Indian Business Portal, right? So let's go back to the seller panel and let's try to understand how to fix this mistake. So once you have opened the seller panel of your online store, in the left navigation, you have to click where? You have to click on store settings. This is where you can see. And when I say left navigation, it means all these buttons that we are seeing on the left. It is called left navigation. And this is where you are seeing store settings. You have to click on store settings. And after that, we have to click on store details. For everyone's reference, I'm just repeating the steps. The first step is obviously to log into your FIEO GlobalLinker account. After you have logged into your FIEO GlobalLinker account, open the seller panel. To do that, you have to click here on the online store. Once the online store is opened, in the left navigation, you have to click on store settings. And after that, you have to click on store details, which will open the store details section. Now, here you have two fields on the top. One is store URL, and the second one is store name. To change the URL, you just type the correct URL here, or if you have to change the store name, you have to type the correct store name here. So both the fields are editable. You can edit them and ensure that both are matching. That's all you have to do. Once you are done, click on save and the problem is fixed. So that's how you have to fix the problem. I'm repeating this step once again for everyone's reference. So very quickly, step number one, log into your FIEO GlobalLinker account. After that, click on online store, which will open the seller panel. Once the seller panel is open, in the left navigation, click on store settings. After that, click on store details. After that, this page will open up. Here you'll see store URL and store name. You have to just ensure that both these values, top and bottom, they are the same, right? So obviously it will not have space. The URL will not have space, but it should also say Star Exports, and this should also say Star Exports, right? So that's what you have to do. And once you are done, click on this option, which is save, and your problem is fixed. So let's go back to our presentation. Where is our presentation? Here is our presentation. And this was the issue. Online store name should be the same as the business name, right? So we have understood how to fix this issue. Let's move on to the next mistake, which may be there. Now, this is an example that you're seeing on your screen. What is the mistake here? Right. So I'll give you few seconds to figure it out yourself, that what seems to be the mistake here. And you can share your observations in the chat, right? So I'll just open the chat. And if you have an observation, sorry, I accidentally also closed the presentation. So what do you think? I have the chat open in front of me. So I'm asking everyone in the audience, what do you think is the mistake here? You're seeing the screenshot of an online store on your screen. And what do you think? Any guesses, any wild guess? What do you think? What is the mistake here on the screen? I can see a few of the members have started chatting our prize. Yes, Dennis is correct. It is about the contact information. So let me just answer to you or share with you what is the problem here. So you look at the contact details, address. If you're looking at this address, if you're seeing this address on this website, what will be your action? I will not shop on that website because obviously address looks fake, right? Contact details looks fake. Contact number, email ID looks fake, right? So it is important that when you are adding these information, and these are like very basic information, but we have seen when we are reviewing websites, that's where we have seen, right? Many exporters have done this mistake that they haven't added correct contact address, they haven't added correct contact number, they haven't added correct email ID, and those mistakes are preventing their online store from being listed on Indian business portal, right? So when you are making your online store, when you're updating your online store, just ensure that the contact information is absolutely correct, because it is not going just having an impact when your business is getting reviewed for listing on Indian business portal. It will also have an impact when an international buyer and importer is visiting your business. So if and they will also review your details just to ensure, just to have that satisfaction that you're a genuine business, right? So if they'll not get that satisfaction, they'll not move ahead with you. They'll not give you leads or inquiries or orders, right? So you should ensure that. In a very simple fix, let's go back to the seller panel that we have open. I'll just go back to the home screen so that I can explain the journey, entire journey, starting from logging into the FIEO GlobalLinker account to updating these information. So as a first step, you have to open the FIEO GlobalLinker account. Once you have opened the FIEO GlobalLinker account, click on online store, which will open the seller panel. Once the seller panel is open, in the left navigation, you have to click on store settings once again, and then you have to click on store details. Now we have to update three pieces of information. The first one is the address. To update the address, you have to click on this address tab, which you are seeing on the horizontal navigation. So this is vertical, this is horizontal. So here you have address. So you have to click on address, and this is where you have the address. So you have to update the address, and this is the Google location. So update both of them, and to that, this is where you have the city and select it from the. So once you have added the Google location, this will get automatically populated, but you will have that option. You can select it, still select it from the drop down, and you have to enter the postal code. It also gets auto populated based on the location, but it is editable. So you can make changes to it, and then you can click on save. Sorry, I have a bad throat. So please bear with me. So as I was explaining to you, that if you have clicked on the address tab, that's where you'll see the address update fields. On the top, you'll add address in case you have a fairly long address. You can input it in two rows, the first one and the second one. After that, you have to add the Google location. Now that Google location can be of your business, your factory, depending on what location you want to add. But this address and this Google location should be the same. Once you add the Google location, that's where you'll see this state and postal code will get automatically populated. So you don't have to add them manually, but these are editable. So if you want to make changes to them, Google has not updated the correct details. In that case, you can make changes to them. And once you are done, you can click on save, and that will update the address on your online store. So that is about updating the address. Now we have two more fields that we have to update. That is the contact number and email ID. So if you click on store details, which is this tab, and it gets opened by default, this is where you'll see the phone number. So this is the store phone number, and this is the store email ID. So you can update these from here. Very simple. You have to just input the correct email IDs here, and after that, you can click on save. Now, related to email IDs and contact number, many people ask us this question that what should be this email ID? So this is not necessary that it has to be your email ID. It can be your info email ID, like info@yourbusinessname.com, or it can be your sales email ID, like sales at abcbusiness or abcexports.com, right? So it can be that kind of email ID. It essentially does not have to be a person's email ID, but an email ID where if a person is sending you an email, you should be able to receive that and review that and respond back to them. So that is one. Second is about the contact number. Now, many people are not comfortable sharing that contact number. That is absolutely okay. So you can hide your contact number also. How do you hide your contact number? So in case you are just interested or you are just comfortable showing the email ID, you are not comfortable showing your contact number. So in that case, you can also hide it. But I will not recommend doing that because there can be a scenario that the person would want to have a in-person communication with you, and that's where you have hidden your contact number, and that's where instead of sending an email and waiting for your response, they just went ahead and reached your competitor. You have lost an opportunity, you have lost a business. So in case you don't have fundamental issues and you have a number which you can switch off in case you don't want to receive calls on odd hours, you can just input the number here. So my personal recommendation is always display a contact number where the person can call you, because many people are not very comfortable through the email route and meeting. They are impulsive, so they want to have a conversation right there, right now. So that's where you should mention your contact number. But in case you're not comfortable doing that, there is an option to hide the mobile number. So here, if you scroll down, this is where you can see it is on. If you turn it off, your mobile number gets hidden from the contact details and only the email ID is displayed. Email ID is something which you cannot hide. So that is the bare minimum. Once you are done, click on save and the contact details get added. All right. So let's go back to the presentation. So let's to understand what is the next problem. Now, once again, from the audience, I'll seek a response. What do you think? Price obviously is not correct, but other than price, what do you think is the problem here? You can share your inputs by chat. So what do you think? I have the chat open. So what do you think? Any response from any member? Yes. Shalab, you are absolutely spot on. The problem is with the categorization. So the category is, you can see fashion apparels and dresses, whereas the product is a shoe. So it is displayed in a wrong category. How do you fix this problem? Now, this is also something which people typically don't do intentionally, but sometimes by mistake you have done that. So this is also something which will prevent your business from being showcased on Indian Business Portal. Why so? Because understand, people are coming to Indian Business Portal, and that is a portal which is representing not only you but the country itself, right? So every exporter from the country is being represented there, right? So that is where if someone is going there and looking for, let's say, rice, and in rice they are getting a product which is industrial machinery or something else, that's where they'll not have a very nice impression about that platform itself, and obviously it will have a negative impact on the overall presentation of the platform as well as the reputation of the platform. That's why any business who has wrongly categorized their products, they are not displayed. When I'm saying wrong categorization, so it is not like a very precise one. So if the product is from fashion apparel and accessories, and it is a dress, whereas you have put it, for example, in let's say top, so that is still manageable because it is a related category. But if footwear in a dress is entirely off, and that will not be a correct experience or a correct impression that we would want to give to any international buyer who's coming to the platform to look at our products, right? If it is our website, we'll not do that, right? So how do you fix this issue? Again, open the seller panel. Once you have opened the seller panel, now you have to go to the catalog section. How do you go to catalog section? So left navigation to click on catalog, and after that you have to click on products, which will open the product section. This is the product section. Now, to change the categorization, it can be done in two ways. One is you can change the categorization manually, one product at a time. If the categorization mistake is in one or two products, you can do that manually as well. How do you do that? So you have to click on this option, which is edit. Once you have clicked on the edit option, it will open the edit screen. Give me. Yeah, my internet is a little slow today, so please bear with me on that. So once you have clicked on edit, this is where you'll see the uh, category, the parent category, and this is where you'll see the subcategory. In sorry. So this is where you'll see parent category, and this is where you'll see the subcategory. So you can select the suitable one from here. In case your category is not visible here, you can select it from here. So you can use can't find my category, and you can input your own categories as well, right? So this is how you can fix it if you have to make the correction in one or two products. Now, if you have to make the correction in number of products, right? So if you have to make a correction in, let's say, 50, 60 products, if you are doing it one product at a time, it will take you a lot of time, right? So how can you do that in bulk? So to do that in bulk, you have to use this option, which is download products. So here, not this one. Download CSV is to make changes in the price and inventory. But if you have to correct the categorization, you have to use this file. So you have to click on download products, and it will download an Excel file onto your device. It will take few seconds or about a minute to get downloaded, because there's a lot of information like product title, description, etc. This is a very useful file because it not only allows you to let me just save the file. Let me quickly save it here. And let me just quickly open the file. Here is the file. Yep. So this is the file. Many times it will get opened in this kind of a slightly expanded state. So you can use the wrap text and it will be fixed. So you have to just wrap the text, and this is how it will start appearing. Now, these are the products which are there on this uh, demonstration store. Now, to fix the categorization issue, you have to use this column, which is title as category. And here you'll see the different categories. So you have to do, and this is the first part which you're seeing here. So this is the parent category. I think you may not be able to see it properly. So let me just zoom in a little bit. So this is the category column. Now you can see it has two parts. So it is the first one, the fashion, accessories, and footwear. This is the parent category, and casual shoes is the subcategory. Similarly, in this row, fashion, apparel, and fabric is the parent category, and this is the subcategory, right? So you can make the corrections very easily here. The only thing that you have to ensure is that it has to be an existing category, right? So it cannot be like something you are totally creating on your own and it starts appearing there. So that will not be possible if it is an existing category. So once something which is there in the drop down or something that you have created on the website. So either of the two. So you can create yourself or you can select from the drop down, but it has to be either from the drop down or something that you have created. So it cannot be like some whatever you're writing here, it will create a new category. It does not happen with this process, but you'll be able to select or you'll be able to fix that categorization issue. Now, very simple tactic that I propose people to use is that, for example, there are, let's say, 100 products in which you have to fix this issue. Now, what you should do is you come here, edit one of the products. So, for example, this is a product which we want to fix. So we'll click on edit one of the products. So we still have 99 products that have to fix. So once you have clicked on edit, we come here and we select the right categorization. So we select the right categorization. So either from here or you select it from here. Once you have selected that, that's where you click on save. So you have fixed one product. Once you have fixed that one product, you go to the product section, and this is where you download the product file. Once you have downloaded the product file, then you just copy paste that. Once you have done this, save the file, and then you can come here, click on upload, and the categorization gets fixed, right? So that's how you have to fix this categorization related issue. Let's go back to the presentation. Now, this is something which is obvious, so I'll not ask audience to comment on it. This is an image issue. The product image is missing. And that is why the products are not listed on Indian Business Portal. Now, related to this, many times people from the service industry have asked me this question that we don't have a product image. So what should we do? What should we use? So the answer is that you can use representative images. Now, from where can you get representative images? So there are many platforms. Pixels, Pixels. Pixels is one of the platform. I'll share the link. Don't worry on that. So Pixels is one of the platform that I personally recommend that you can consider using. Why so? Because Pixels has a open licensing policy. You don't have to essentially attribute. So even if you're using stock free images, which are commercially free, many of them require attribution, right? So you have to credit the person who has created that images or who has shot that image. But Pexels does not have that policy, so right? So you can happily or without a stress or without fear, you can use that image and show it as a representative image, right? Let's go and let's try to find out how to fix this issue. Again, we have to go to the product section, which we have here. This is the product section. And in case you're wondering how do you access this section. So after opening the seller panel of your online store, in the left navigation, you have to click on catalog, which is here. And after that, you have to click on products, which will open the product section. This is the product section here. Now, what is the problem that we are trying to fix? We are trying to fix the product image problem. And again, it can be done one product at a time. So you can fix the problem one product at a time, or you can fix it in bulk. I'll explain both the process to you. So let's first understand how you can fix it one product at a time, or if you just have the problem in one product, how do you fix that, right? So for that, we have to again click on edit the products, right? So for example, we have this product, which is jeans, and we want to fix this problem. So we'll click on edit. Now here you can see on the top, we have images. Now there is a scenario that I would want to explain to you. Now let me just open one of the products so that I can explain a scenario to you. Right? This is a product and we can see the images, etc. That's not the reason why I brought you here. The reason is that I can show you that this product has variants. So it is available in different sizes. Now, because these are size variants, right? These are not color variants, these are size variants. So irrespective whether the customer is buying small or large, look and feel remains the same, right? So you can use the same images, but there can be a scenario that the product has different images, right? So let me just try to open another demonstration store. This is another store that I use to conduct my training workshops. And I'll just show you one product. Now here you can see it is a t-shirt, but it is available in different colors, right? So it has a green, it has a white, right? Now, if you have, if you're uploading this kind of product, so irrespective of what variant they are purchasing, or in case they are not purchasing a variant, image remains the same. So in that case, you have to go to this section, which is images. I'm again repeating it because you might be getting a little confused here. What is happening? So if the image remains the same irrespective what the customer is ordering, whether they are ordering small or large, or in case the product that you are uploading does not have a variant. So for example, you are uploading a table fan, it does not have an image, or if you are uploading a chair, it does not have a variant, right? So image remains the same. So in that case, if image is the same for the product, there is no different color-wise image, or there's no different pack size image. So it remains the same. In that case, you have to use this section, which is images. You have to click on images and you have to come here, click on this plus sign, click on this placeholder. This is where you'll see the placeholder. You click on that and it will reveal this icon, which looks like a pencil. You have to click on that, which will open the image manager. Now here you can click on upload and you can directly upload the image from your device, but I'll not recommend doing that. I recommend, or my personal recommendation is always upload images into the folder, because otherwise what will happen, your this image manager thing will become too crowded, and after that it will become almost impossible for you to use the image manager. So it is always better to put the images in folders, right? So you create a product image folder, which you can see it is pre-created for you. You can create a folder here. You can just click on this icon and you can create a folder, and then you can upload the image, right? So once the image is uploaded, you have to just select it like this, and the image gets uploaded. Then you have to click on save, and the image will be uploaded, right? So in case you have multiple images, you can keep clicking on add image icon, and multiple images will keep adding, right? So that's how you can fix the issue. But this is where the images are the same. Now, in case the images are different, right? So you have a red color variant, you have a blue color variant, you have a white color variant. Each one of them has their own images because the color variation is there, right? So this white and green example that I showed to you. So the variation is there. In that case, you have to go to this section, which is price and variant, and then you have to upload images for each of the variants. So you have to click on again this edit icon and done. Then scroll down below here. You'll see this I plus images. You have to click on that. Again, click on this image placeholder, and then again click on image edit icon, which will open the image manager. You can upload the images, and once you are done, you can select the images from the image manager, and then you'll be able to upload them. So that's how you have to upload. Now this is only the scenario, so you don't have to do extra hard work if the images are not changing depending on which size the customer is buying, or if the product that you have uploaded does not have variations. In that case, just use this option, which is images. In case they are different based on the variant that the customer is buying, in that case only you have to do this additional hard work. All right. So this is where you have to change these images manually, one product at a time, right? So you'll be able to fix in one product. In the same kind of scenario that you have like 50 products or 100 products where you have to fix this issue, how do you do that? So in that case, because doing like this will take you a lot of time, right? So how do you fix this issue? So the solution is using an Excel file. So you can do this in bulk as well. How do you do in bulk? Let me quickly explain to you. So for that, we have to download this file. Earlier, we downloaded this file to update the categorization. This is where we have to download this file, which is download CSV. Let's click on that. It will again take few seconds to get downloaded. This is, let's quickly open the file. Where is the export variant? Here is the export variant file. Let me just zoom in a little bit so that you can see the information on your screen. This is the file which gets downloaded. Now, the problem that we are trying to fix, this file, by the way, is used to update price and inventory. Predominantly, it is used to update price and inventory. But what is the problem, or what is the challenge that we are trying to fix? We are trying to update images, or we are trying to upload images. So this is the file that we have to download. This is the file which is downloaded. What next? So you have to scroll to the right side of the screen, and that's where you'll see these two columns: variant cover image and variant images, right? So these are the two columns that you'll be seeing. Let me just expand them a little bit, and let's scroll towards the right a little bit more. So these are the two columns that you'll see. Let me also highlight them in yellow color so that they are more evident and you can see them. So these are the two images that or two columns that you can see: cover image, and for the other images, comma separated value, right? Now, what is the next step, right? So this is where you have to input these links. How do you get these links? So for that, we have to again go back to the seller panel. This is the seller panel, and this time we have to go to My Store. So I'll just open this section in another tab so that we have this section open right here. So we have to click on My Store, and after that we have to click on this option, which is Media Manager. Let me just open this in another tab. So here, what did we do? So we clicked on My Store and then we clicked on Media Manager. So we are in Media Manager. Now here, again, you can create a folder and you can upload the images, right? So you can click on Upload Images and it will allow you to directly upload the images from your device. So very simply, you can just, sorry. I think I may not have the images available. So let me just show you by uploading a image. Let's just upload this image. So it will get uploaded like this. So here you can see the image is uploaded. There's the image. And this is where you'll see the link. So you have to just copy the link. So you have to click on this copy link button, or you can select it like this and copy, do a control C. You can also do that, but this is more convenient. You can just click on this button here, adjoining to the link. Link is copied. Now you go back to the Excel file, copy paste it like this, save this file, go back to the seller panel here. Now click on this option, bulk edit CSV, click on upload CSV, select the file from your device and upload it, and images will get updated. Now this was a cover image. If you are just uploading one image, in that case, you have to put them in this column. So whenever the product gets opened, this is the cover image. The first image is called the cover image, right? And these are the other images which are there. How do you upload the other images? For that, you have to just copy paste the URLs in this column, but you have to add a comma in between. So you don't have to add space like this. We copy pasted one URL, comma, the second one, comma, the third one, like this. You can keep going depending on how many images do you have. Maximum 6 are there. So 1 here and 5 there. You can copy paste. Once you're done, save the file, go back to the seller panel. In the product section, click on bulk edit CSV, upload CSV, and the images will get updated. Right. So that was the issue with related to the product images. The next issue is also related to the product images, and that's where you are seeing an image which has a watermarked image. You have to ensure that whenever you are using an image, it is not a watermarked image. And you should also ensure that the image that you are using is okay to be used commercially. So a lot of businesses, when I interact with them, they have this impression that we can go to Google and we can see any image and we can use it, right? That is not a right practice to do. Why so? Because that image may not be open for commercial usage, right? So there may be a licensing requirement, and tomorrow you may receive a notice that you are doing a copyright infringement and you are using image without buying it, or you're basically stealing an image and you're using it on your website, right? So you can get into a legal trouble if you want to avoid all that legal trouble. So there are two options available for you. One is there are many platforms that provide stock free images. So you can go there, check their licensing requirement. And let me show you that, because otherwise you might be not be able to connect with what I'm sharing with you. So I'm opening or I'm trying to open Pixels, which is one of the free images platform. Why I have brought you here? Because I wanted to show the licensing parts here. You can see the license. I'm clicking on it, and here you can see the license is allowed, right? So you can all photos and videos and pixel free to use, no attribution is required, and modify the feed, right? What is not allowed is also listed here. You can follow that. So these are licensing requirements. So even on free platforms from where you are using stock images, they have certain licensing requirements. So you should be aware what are those licensing requirements. So for example, there's this platform called FreePic. Now they also have free images which are only there is some attribution requirement which is there. So for example, if I click on this image, let's see. And if we try to download, there will be, you can see attribution is required. So when it says attribution required, it means that you have to give credit to the person who has shot this image or who has created this image, right? So if you haven't attributed and you are using this image on your website, and tomorrow they are able to find it out, they can send you a legal notice for that. So be little cautious of all these when you're choosing images, especially if you're choosing stock images from these free stock images platform. The other option, I told you, the second option is obviously to buy these images. So if you're wanting to use certain image, buy that image. It will give you licensing rights, and then you can use it, right? So do that. So that I don't think requires an explanation. You'll be able to change the image the way I just explained to you, right? So let's quickly move on to the next point. Watermark stock prohibited images is something that we have discussed. Next point is about the pricing. So this is where you have to ensure that pricing is realistic. The problem is unrealistic pricing, right? And especially if you have uploaded accept orders. There's on an inquiry store, it does not make a difference. You can hide the price, and what price you have added does not make a difference. But if it is an accept order store, the price should be realistic. Now, many times when I'm interacting with exporters like you, and they have this genuine concern that many of their products or all of their products are at $1. In that case, everything looks at $1, and sometimes it looks unrealistic, right? How can everything is at $1? So in that case, my suggestion is that add some decimal values, right? So it is $1, 20 cents, 30 cents, right? Like that, do that. So there's a certain level of differentiation. It does not look very unrealistic that everything is on the same price, right? So you should try to do that and avoid. So many times what people do, and this is again not something that they do intentionally, they just forget about it, that and while they're creating the store, they have added the price. They thought that we'll update the price later, and then they forget to update the price, and everything is showing at ₹1 or $1. So in that case, obviously, it will not be screened through, and the products will not be listed on Indian Mills portal, right? So how do you fix this issue? Again, we'll go back to the seller panel, and we'll again go to the product section. This is where, again, it can be fixed in two ways. One is the manual approach. Second is the bulk approach. Manual approach is we have tried to make it a little simpler this time for you. So here you can click on the product title, right? So here you can see you have the product title. You can click on edit. You don't have to go to edit and go to any of the types. You can just click on the product title, and then from here you can click on edit, which will open this overlay. Here you can see the selling price. There's the discounted price. So discounted price means the MRP minus discount. So the product price is, for example, ₹100. So if you want to sell it for 700, so 700 will be the price. So sorry, the price is 1000, and you want to sell it at 30% discount. So 30% is 300. So 1000 minus 300, 700, that will be the discounted price. You can update it from click on save, and the price will get updated. You can update it in bulk. Also for that, we'll be using that export variant file. And if you look at here, so you have a column called selling price, which is the MRP of the product. And then you have discount price, which is MRP minus discount. So you can update the correct price here, save the file, and then you can go back to the seller panel and click on bulk edit CSV and load this file. That's how you can fix the price related issue. All right, so let's move on to the next part. And this is something which I've explained earlier, and which is everything being on the same price. You should add little decimal values in case many of your products are around the same price, so that it does not look unrealistic. Because what happens, the person who is reviewing your website, they'll get an observation that this person has forgotten to update the price, and that's where they'll not make it go through. So add decimals in case it is not possible for you to, in case many of the products are having the same price. So in that case, add decimal values or add real values here. The process remains the same. Let's quickly move to the avoid identical pricing. That's what we have understood. I think this is the last point, and this is around description. So this is where you have to ensure that you are adding description. Now, adding description is important from 2 points. One is from the search engine optimization perspective. The more information that you're adding, the richer information. So more, not like you add whatever is there, richer, identified based on the keyword research that you have done. So the more information that you're adding, the better it will be from your search engine optimization. Discoverability also, right? So it is not like are adding this information and then somehow magically the person or a prospective importer will be able to find you, right? So many people complain to us that, hey, we have created the website and we are not getting the results. And that's where when we review their website, they have very poorly added content. And that is something which you should try to avoid, because that is where you are not performing very well on search engine platform and also on Indian Business Portal. Now, you might be wondering, why am I saying that you'll perform badly on Indian Business Portal as well? Because understand, a similar kind of search also happens on Indian Business Portal. If someone is able to see your products while they're navigating, well, they're going through the category, right? So they go to, let's say, fashion, apparel, and accessories, and your product is right there on the top of it. Obviously, they can review it and they may be able to connect with you. But in case they start searching, because that is a more obvious thing that people do. You go to a website, you go to Amazon, what is the very next thing that you do? You start searching, right? That is a common practice. Most of the human beings who are shopping online, they typically do that. Now, in that case, if someone is searching on Indian Business Portal, I'm not referring to Google search, someone searching on Indian Business Portal, and that is where have been little conservative in adding information here, the description, and the search works on keyword density. So the term density, the term that they have used to search on Indian Business Portal, that term is used multiple times. That keyword is used multiple times in your competitors' products description and not in yours. Which product will be displayed on the top? Your competitors, not yours. And that's where you lose out. So that's where it is recommended that you should firstly do a keyword research, try to identify what are the relevant keywords or terms for your products, and then try to include them in the product description that you're adding, right? So more is the better, but like it should be relevant also, right? So adding just content for the sake of it is not what I'm recommending. Good quality content which has relevant keywords and it is informative as well, because the second aspect is the first aspect. You have one, right? So you have added the right description and you are now in front of the customer. This page is open in front of the customer. That's where the second leg starts. The information should be informative as well. So you have not just added the content for the sake of it. It is also informative content which you have added. That's where the person will be able to read that content and they'll be able to understand the product, and then they can make up their mind to proceed ahead to do business with you, right? So that's where adding product description is extremely important. Now, many businesses that I have interacted, and a lot of time I happen to also assist our members on help desk. And that's where I have realized that many exporters like you don't add description, or they have a sense that the person is a professional buyer and just looking at the product name, they'll be able to make a sense. Now, what if the other person is a new joinee? That's where you'll lose the business. And obviously, you're losing out on the search, both on Indian Business Portal and on Google, right? So you're taking a hit at both the places, and you're just relying on the assumption that the other person is very informative and very knowledgeable and they are expert in the industry. That can be a scenario, that cannot be a scenario. That is just a hypothetical. It is just a loud thinking that you're doing. So you shouldn't do that. You should add your product description. Now, how do you create that description? There are a lot of AI tools which are available. Sometime back, I did a webinar about how to use AI tools in case you are interested to understand. You can go to YouTube and search for GlobalLinker, and that's where you'll find the recording. I'll try to get the link of the recording and share it with everyone so you can understand how to create search and optimize beautiful product descriptions for the products and services on your online store. Now, how do you update this information? Let's quickly understand that. This is the last point that we are discussing. So after that, we'll break into the question answer round. So if you have any questions, please start adding them to the Q&A. So to update the description, we can again do that in two ways. One is we can do it manually, one product at a time, and we can do that in bulk as well. So if you have to do it manually, so in that case, you have to click on edit button alongside the product, which will open the edit page. This is the edit page. And here you have the summary and this is the long description. So there are two descriptions in case this is how the summary is displayed and this is how the long description is displayed, right? So this is where you have to update the short description, the summary description, and this where if you have additional information that you would want to share, then also add that. Now, in addition to the description, you also have options to add image or a video. So in case you have a video of the production process, or if the product is related to art form, then add a video about that particular art form so that the person can understand what is this art form, etc. Right? So you can make it more engaging, more informative for the person who is reviewing the content. All right. So this is how you have to add that. Now, this is the manual way. If you are doing it for one or two products, this is how you can do that. If you have to do it in bulk, then you have to use this option, which is product update, download product update, which will download this file. This is the file which gets downloaded. Now, here you have summary and description. These are the columns that you have to use. You will see that when you are downloading the description, it will get downloaded as a code, but you can add a text description here. You don't have to basically convert it into HTML code. You can just add it as a plain text and then upload it and it start appearing properly. So that is how you have to update it. So once you have updated the information in the Excel file, you have to just go back to the seller panel. You're going to update the products and upload this file. So that should fix this issue. Now we have the last point, which is don't list prohibited or restricted products and services. This is sort of obvious. So this is where I will not do much of explanation, but sometime back, someone asked me that if you want to be sure and understand which are prohibited products, etc. So there is a list which is maintained by DGFT. So you can go to DGFT's website, and that's where you'll be able to see the list of prohibited and restricted products. All right. So this is where I am going to turn off my screen share and we'll break into question answer round. So I can see there are a few questions which are there in the chat. So I can see there's a question by Mr. Sushant, and that is around how to upload the products. Now, we have already overshot our time limits, and that's where I'll not be able to explain to you that. But if you go to our YouTube channel, that's where you'll be able to find a tutorial video on how to upload the products, or you can join me on Tuesday. I conduct regular training workshops every day. So on Tuesday, I'll be explaining how to upload the products. I'll share the link in the chat with everyone. So if anyone wants to attend the session, attend the daily training sessions, you can join me. And product upload is something that we take up on Tuesdays. It happens at 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. All right, so I've added the link in the chat. Please join me on Tuesday. Otherwise, you can go to YouTube, and that's where you'll be able to review the content. In addition to that, there is one more place. Let me just quickly start sharing my screen. I'll just quickly show you. There's one more place where you can go and you can review tutorial information. So this is the resources section. So at the left side of the left navigation, so on the bottom of the left navigation, you can see there's something called resources. If you click on that, it will open another page. This is the page which will get opened up. Now here you have how to upload the products, right? So you have how to manage the product, how to upload the product. So there is a step-by-step guide which is available, which you can review, right? Hope that helps. With the question, let's move on to next question is from Mr. Hitesh. This is related to the inquiries, or this is related to the submissions that he has done for the international inquiries which are there on Indian Business Portal. So he wants to understand what's the status. So this is where you can reach out to FIEO. So you can drop an email on ibp@fio.org, and they'll be able to share an update with you. Live link error. I'm not clear on the question. Live link error. In case you're referring to the FIEO GlobalLinker link, I'll just share that once again with everyone. All right, let's go to the next question. How to add domain. So I am not sure whether it is part of the free plan or not. So that's where I'll not be able to comment on that. But you'll be able to do that. In case you are getting stuck on pointing the domain, you can reach out to us. I'll share my contact details in the chat, and one of my colleagues will be able to help you out with pointing the domain. Sure, I'll just share the email ID of IBP here. Give me a few seconds. Any other question from any other participant? Because we have overshot the time, so we would like to complete everything very quickly. Just give me a few seconds to take out the email ID and share it with you. So I'm just adding the email ID to the chat so that everyone can. This is the email ID that I have added in the chat, ibp@fio.org. This is the email ID on which you can send a inquiry about the requisitions that you have submitted. All right. So I don't see any other question. And I mentioned that I will be sharing my contact details, so I will just add them once again. So if you need any help, you can reach out to me. I may not be extremely prompt in answering the phone calls because I might be occupied with one meeting or another. So, but what I recommend is if you can drop me a WhatsApp message, either myself or someone from my team can connect with you. So please feel free to connect with me. I've shared my contact details here. And let me also share with you the we have created a tutorial video around these mistakes, the points that I've showed to you. We have also created a video around these points. So I'll share both of them here. I'm sharing links of two videos in the chat. Just give me few seconds. So one is how to create your online store, and this video also contains how to upload your products. And the second video is around the how to solve these mistakes, right? So the problems that I've highlighted in today's session, and then how can you solve them. So around the same topics this video covers. It is a slightly more detailed video, so you can review that. And I also will be sharing with you the link of our YouTube channel. So just give me a second so that if you need to access any of the tutorial content, or if you want to review the recording of any of our previous webinars, you can go there and you can review the recording. So all right, so I think this will be all from my side. So I can see there's one more question. Hitesh, there are no services with the platinum plan or the freemium plan on the platform. It is the features which gets enabled. So Hitesh has asked what are the services that we can accept. If you're referring to the assisted store service, which is where GlobalLinker's team help you in creating your website, that is where the person who is guiding you with the onboarding journey or sign up process, that's where that person will give you the entire list of deliverables. But if you're referring to the freemium service, right? So there are different plans that you can activate for the freemium upgrade. So that is where it includes the features which are there. So there are no services as such. Part of that, there are certain features, the premium features which get enabled when you're subscribing to a higher plan. All right. So if there are any questions, you can add that to the chat, and otherwise, this is where we'll conclude the session. I can see there's one question in the chat about what are the rates for the plan. I'm not sure which plans you're referring to. If you're referring to the freemium plan, they're available on the seller panel. So once you log into your seller panel, they will be displayed there. So I'll just show you from where you can see them. But if you're looking for the assisted store setup services, that those are shared on case to the case basis. So that's where you can connect with us and we'll be able to guide you. Now, if you're wanting to understand the commercials for the freemium packages, so they are listed here. So once you have opened the seller panel, this is where you'll see my store is on platinum plan, but you'll see your current plan and you'll have a button to navigate and see the different plans which are available. Now, with regards to the assisted store setup service, that's where you can connect with us, and I will guide you, or I will introduce you with one of my colleagues who looks into the assisted store setup onboarding, and they'll be able to share with you the plan features and commercials. All right, so this is where I can see there are no more questions. So we'll conclude today's session. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time and participating in this session. Have a wonderful evening and a weekend ahead. Bye-bye from our side for now.